they made some changes here on YouTube. Okay, so welcome to my channel, Hisame Artwork. Today I'm going to continue coloring the summer birds. This is the second illustration in my series for the four season birds. Let me just go to my shop. Here we go. And this is the first one with the spring birds. There we go. I think I have the canvas here somewhere. It should be like so. This is the full image. Now let's get to I wanted to tell you, usually I do the announcements and stuff like that at the end of the video, but usually I ran out of time and just rush through them and I never get to like tell you properly. So subscribing to YouTube and Twitch is free. When I get to 100 YouTube subscribers, they will let me change my layout, and that's awesome. And I will really look forward to be able to change my layout in my YouTube channel, and also be doing a giveaway when I reach that milestone. Now, whenever I reach a milestone, I have giveaways, and you can use the hashtag HisameOCL to find those giveaways. Yes, now I've reached the milestone on 2 of 900 followers, and this is the 8th Hisame OCL, and the last chance to win a character within the EVB world. And so get it while it's hot. I post a new comic page every Monday on Tapastic, and now you can also find me on Twitch and Patreon. And you can find explanations about what Twitch donations and Patreon rewards are on my blog, and you can find a whole bunch of updates there, hisamewordpress.com. And also you can now find my booklet on Lulu, and I'm also discussing with Kablam to start publishing with them as well. And last but not least, if you are a musician and you are looking for graphics for your channel, let me know. I am currently using royalty-free music for my videos, but I'm always open to collaborations. And this is my streaming channel, so every Tuesday and Thursday between 3 and 5 p.m. GMT-5. This is Michigan, USA time. And you can find me a whole bunch of other places as well. So let's get painting done. Hide this layer, I don't need that one anymore. And make these invisible. Turn on my tablet. I have an Wacom Intus Pro, medium size. I find that the medium size suits me best. If it's too big, I can't put it in my backpack, and you know, when I have to fly with a plane, I really don't like putting my expensive equipment in the cargo baggage because it gets tossed around. So I needed to be able to take it with me in the in the plane up where the passengers are. So I like the medium size. I find that the small size is too small for me, and the medium it's okay, but it's just too much, and like I said, it's hard to transport. Okay. I'm gonna start blending a bit. Transparent one. Why? Okay. I'll get back into these as well. Actually, I think I wanted to have like the line art be blue and set it to screen. Blending mode, when you set it to screen, everything that is dark will become lighter and will take on that color. Combine layers and we'll multiply. Okay. There we go. Now a lot of people have been asking me why don't I put music on my channel, and the simple answer is I don't own the rights to any song because I am not a musician, so I can't really put anything out to sing, because then YouTube would take it down due to copyright violations of the whatever song I've put. Then the videos will be taken down, so that I was asking if anybody wants to show off their songs, they can do it on my channel, it's no problem. I usually use royalty-free music, but there's only so many songs that you can have, and then it gets repetitive in an unpleasant way, so that's why I don't put them. Usually don't find that many songs that are royalty free with a voice with a chorus. Usually find like these techno songs, dubstep, and other things like that, and those can get tiring pretty quickly, so I don't use them. There we go, blending. Just kind of getting like the feel of it for the plants, because then I'll come back again and add even more detail and just layers and layers of details until you get the final image like you saw with the spring birds. It's gonna be very similar. It's the same theme, birds in spring. And this is gonna be summer. And I got cherries like you saw. I really do enjoy cherries a lot. Very tasty, especially the dark red ones. I love those a lot. The yellow cherries, not so much, but they're still very tasty enough. They're ripe, they're really sweet and nice. Don't know if you heard that. I think I have some bikers around. I am in the USA, so we have a lot of those fat Harley bikes around. They make quite a lot of noise. I personally prefer choppers to sports bike simply because they're more comfortable and it's harder for me to fall off them. With the sports bike, I feel like the center of gravity is a bit too high and much more unstable for me. Prefer choppers. Now, I'm pretty tall myself, so I know how it's like to fall from a higher height. From an upper height, it's like easier to fall if you're. It's less painful if you're closer to the ground. There we go, blending, blending. So I'm mostly active on Facebook and Two. For those of you that don't know, Two is a social media platform just like Facebook. And unlike Facebook, Two rewards you for your content like Tapastic and YouTube. So if you're an original content creator, places like YouTube, Tapastic, Two will probably be more useful for you to invest time and to post there. The engagement on Facebook for me is really low. I post something, usually nobody sees it, or very few people. So I post less often on Facebook. Because I just don't feel it's worth my time. And we do have a lot of events and updates, and you're on a lot of platforms because you need to be. You gotta be a bit more careful with your time, I think. I don't know, you can always leave it in the comments, tell me what you think is best, what works for you. It's always good to share this information. This is how we learn, by sharing information. A lot of the times. There we go. Now I am using Manga Studio because it crashes less often than Facebook, and I also like the blending options for it. You have that smudge brush in Facebook, in Photoshop, but it doesn't work as good in my opinion. I prefer the blending capabilities of this brush. Actually, this one should be blue. And erase the extra stuff. There we go. I always enjoy drawing vegetation. It's really calming and pleasant for me. I have a little garden in front of the house, which I always enjoy taking care of. Gardening is a lot harder than I thought. I can't imagine ever being a farmer. I think it's like be a lot of work. I have to know a lot of things to be profitable. You gotta have like a large production. So all my respect to those people who managed to do this stuff, because it seems like really hard. I was so proud of myself when I managed to grow 3 tomatoes. I was like, yay, look at me, I managed to grow 3 tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. So I was able to make like half a salad for myself, not even a full salad, just half a salad. But it didn't matter, it was my salad. Yeah, some music would have been good. I do agree. Cause like there's only so much that I can keep talking by myself without it becoming too weird. Now I do have a lot of viewers that don't have accounts, so a lot of people may be watching as we speak but not being able to use the chat because they don't have an account. And for example, to be able to use the YouTube channel, the YouTube chat, you got to have a Gmail. So you can't use your old normal email. You gotta use the one from Google. And it's a real hassle having like 100 bajillion email addresses, so I can totally understand that. And I have some friends that keep watching, and you know, they get back to me on Facebook about what's been going on. Now I don't keep my Facebook chat open as well, because that would be like too many chats already. I have for the Picarto, which is dedicated to streaming art works like the one I'm making. Twitch is for streaming for video games, so you know, if you're a gamer and you're recording what you're doing, what you're playing in game, you're streaming what you're doing in game, like Twitch is a much better option for you. They offer the same services. The only difference between Picarto and Twitch is just like the people that you have in there. So for example, I usually don't have anybody from Twitch on my stream, just because all the people there are gamers, so they're not gonna be interested in what I do. Every now and then one of them will pop in, take a look, and then move on because it's not something that they're interested in. They're interested in video games, not in painting. So I usually get new followers for my streams from Picarto rather than Twitch, and a lot of them from Tsu as well, because I have a lot of friends there. The community is awesome on Tsu. I really enjoy it. Now, for some reason, I landed in the Italian part of Tsu, but it's no problem. I really enjoy having Europeans in my stream. I'm European as well. It's just that it's a different time zone now, so uh, they might go to bed before I post something, so they see it the next day. So when you're posting, you might want to have the time zones in mind as well. I usually try to post midday for where I am, simply because I want to reach all my followers and have kind of like a homogeneous following from all over the world. I'm not specialized in just one community, one ethnicity. There are a lot of channels there that are only in French or only in German or only in Italian. And I don't know, to me it just seems like you limit yourself, but then again, there are a lot of people from these countries that don't speak English, don't speak any international language properly, so for them it's much easier to just stick to their own language and they seek only French channels or only Italian channels or only German. I personally like having an international following, just the people that you meet from all over the world and you hear what the stories they have and how their life is there and how things connect and influence each other. Also, if you're interested more details about how I do my artworks, I have some tutorials where I go more in depth of what techniques I use and equipment and stuff like that. You have on my YouTube channel, there's a playlist called tutorials, so you can just go take a look there as well and see what else I have. And if there's a tutorial you're interested in and you can't find it, you can always ask me and I'll see if I can do it. I've started to do tutorials for Team Mana Up. So the tutorials that I have in there are for, they were requested by them. And they've been a real help to my channel as well, so it was a pleasure for me to help them back. There we go. And also other places that I would recommend tutorials are like CG tutorials, design tutorials plus, and controlpaint.com. They're also very good at illustration tutorials. And of course Crash Course, but they have videos on various other things, not just art. have biology and mathematics and stuff like that, so might seem interesting for you. I don't know. My husband returned, lost something. A lot of leaves, but it will look really pretty in the end. So I just gotta bear with this grinding here, tedious coloring. Bye bye. "99 leaves on the screen, 99 leaves on the screen. Isolate one, blend it a bit, 98 leaves on the screen to color." There we go. And I keep telling myself it's all worth it, it's all worth it, it's gonna look awesome in the end. Because I know how the other painting turned out very nicely, and people loved it a lot, so I did this on canvas, and I'm not very good at drawing on canvas with oils and acrylics because I haven't done it in such a long time that I kind of forgot how to do it. I'm now primarily a digital illustrator. So it looked really bad because I already did this for seasons with autumn and winter and everything. And it looked really bad, so I decided I'm gonna do it digitally because I know that is where I'm good at it and I can make it look how I want it. Okay, it's starting to look more like leaves. Wow, only half an hour has passed. I am moving so slowly. Gotta erase the extra over there. You know what, actually it should be green like this there. And then it goes darker on the end here. Okay. And then I'm gonna come with the brush with add glow and I'm just gonna burn everything to have that really light, nice bright colors and lighting because I wanna uh, really get a feel for the heat of summer and just how glaring and powerful the sun is during summer. And it's really hot. And that will be really pleasant to look at when you're in winter. You know, like remember all that warmth and glow. Especially if you're in a northern country like I am. I'm in the northern part of the United States, so the winters are pretty long and it's cold. But the good thing is that summers are bearable. I'm not dying of heat. It's actually pretty cool now in today. Yesterday was a bit hot. It was good for getting a tan. Now my home country, I was pretty close to the Balkans. And some maps my country is included in the Balkans. So summer is a lot hotter, especially if you live in a big city where everything is concrete. It can be pretty unpleasant, so I'm all up for the new climate I'm in. go. My nose is really itchy. Where I come from, there's a saying that if your nose is itchy, you're gonna get a beating. You're gonna get beaten up. Now, I don't know where this expression started coming from, but it's just how it is. I think maybe it comes from the other saying that you put your nose in meddle in affairs that do not concern you. So maybe that's how it came to be. You would meddle in affairs that you shouldn't, and then you'd get a beating. So now when your nose is itchy, it's kind of like a warning not to do things like that, because you are gonna get a beating. Oh, hey Banana, how are you? Hope you can hear me alright. Have you been? Well, I almost died yesterday, so I'm good. A tree almost fell on me. And don't think I've run so fast ever in a long time. Because I wasn't sure in which direction it was going to fall, so I just ran. Fortunately, it didn't hit me, but it did hit a gazebo, which was made out of metal, so it just bent the whole thing. But it was okay because we just straightened it out back, and it didn't look too bad afterwards. It looked okay. Yeah, adventures. I'm happy to still be amongst the living. I like being here. It's full of chocolate and friends and cheeseburgers. Yeah, I'm still drawing plants. It wasn't the tree's fault. Um, we were cutting it because it was kind of like a weed and shouldn't be there. Because then it was growing in a bad place, so it was a danger to the house. Well, we don't really know how to cut trees, me and my husband, so we were doing like the best we could, and I don't think he cut in the right place, and I was pulling it with a rope around another tree in the hopes that it wouldn't fall on me, it would fall in a different direction. and it kind of didn't fall on me, but there was someone behind me, so I didn't want like trample that person who was also pulling on the tree. So I kind of run in the only direction I saw space and room to run in. And the other person was just talking about some stuff from their past and like talking, and all of a sudden I saw that the tree wasn't going in the right direction. I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I was like, run! Get out of there! Because initially I thought it was gonna fall on my husband, and I was like, ah, my love, run! Don't sit there. So it was okay. Of course, he laughed his ass off because I ran really quickly in the other. Yeah, dynamite. I ran in the other direction and like stopped only when I reached the end of the garden, which was like 100 meters away. So now he's calling me Roadrunner and Speedy Gonzales and stuff like that. Cause I just ran. I'm like, it was a very tall tree, kind of like that poplar thing. I don't know how it's called in English. I think it's poplar. But anyway, it's pretty tall, and I wasn't sure in which direction it was going to fall, so I just ran. I hoped it wouldn't hit me. I don't think I've run this fast since I was a kid and I got chased by a wolf dog. And then I jumped 11 stairs down in the basement, kind of like hit the secretary that was there because she heard me screaming my head off and was like, what's happening? And I jumped and kind of fell on top of her almost. Because there was this bitch in the bushes that she just had babies, had puppies, and I kind of ran into her while playing in that huge garden. And she started growling at me, so I kind of panicked, and then she started chasing me, and I ran as fast as I could. And she was just right behind me, trying to bite my shoelaces off. I don't know. Because I could feel her on my feet. I was kind of hitting her snout as I was running. So that was scary because I didn't want to die eaten by a dog. But it all is all well when it ends well, I guess. No, I've been in the house locked up all winter because the winter was pretty hard. So I was like in my cozy little bunker sipping my hot chocolate and watching the snow fall. Well, actually, I was watching blizzards blow trees off and falling on the other people's houses sometimes. Like the person that we went to help her with the tree, this winter some branches fell right in her garden. Fortunately, none of them fell on the house. So she was like, when it gets warm, I am cutting all these trees that are growing out of hand, out of control. Because she went for a nice vacation somewhere warmer, and when she returned, it was like, oh my god, I barely missed the house. And the winds can be pretty harsh around here, so a lot of people grow trees around the house to kind of like try and protect the house from hailstorms and other things that can happen. Like for example, the other day the wind blew so hard that all my flowers kind of are now crooked. They are leaning uh, all in a certain direction because the wind just kept pounding them and pounding them. So they're like kind of weird now, crooked on leaning on one side, all of them. And I guess the winds get so rough because there are no mountains around here. So all the wind from Canada just comes over the lakes and hits us. No apologies. No sorries. Just bam. There we go. Blending, blending, blending. Oops, what happened? Oh, okay. I actually accidentally made one of my layers invisible. Yeah, so yeah, people do plant a lot of trees around their houses, but they gotta take care of them so they don't grow out of hand. For example, pine trees, they're very good for this because also in the winter they retain their foliage, which is really good. But the problem is that they grow quickly, and that's good in the beginning, but then they just keep growing and growing, get really big, and then parts of them start dying out. And if you don't cut those dead leaves when it rains and then it melts, ice forms on them, and that can get really heavy, and then pieces of tree kind of break off due to the weight of the ice because the branches are dead, and they fall on the things around, your house, your car, whatever you had the uninspired idea of leaving around there. Wanted the eraser. There we go. I don't think you can burn because you have like a lot of regulations, especially inside of town, inside the city. Maybe outside the city limits, it's kind of like your business what you do. If you burn down your house, I think the firemen will come, but there are a lot less restrictions. But inside the city, because all of the houses in the US, and especially here, I will check it out afterwards. Um, because the houses are made out of wood, they burn easily. So that's why you can't have any fire pits and open fires within the city. In my home country, the houses, of the in the village area were made out of stone and mud. And maybe the beams that are holding up the house may be wooden, Maybe like some furbishing and decorations outside would be out of wood, but the internal structure and the modern ones is certainly out of concrete and stuff like that. So even though there are plenty of things that can burn, um, as far as I know, at least the main structure might survive. So I don't know. I see here in Michigan, a lot of the houses are made out of wood. Yeah. And I've asked an architect, why don't you build the houses out of bricks? Doesn't it make more sense to build them out of bricks? And he was like, no, because the humidity and the cold is so harsh during winter. If you make the houses out of bricks, they just will crumble. They will fall apart. They will develop a lot of mildew and a lot of unpleasant things. Whilst wood breathes a lot more easily, so the house expands and contracts according to the changes in the weather without deteriorating too badly. And also, I don't think they have that much clay around here because it's in an ancient lake bed, so you wouldn't have clay. You have a lot of sand, and now that there are forests, you have a lot of wood. So the cheapest way to build houses in this area, I guess, is wood. And he gave me an example of British houses because they didn't have that much wood and forest in the British Isles because they usually use the wood for other things like constructions and shipbuildings. Today, because they treat it with a lot of stuff, I guess it's more resilient. But I guess it's still very vulnerable to termites. But I guess because it's so cold up here, usually they don't have termites. I don't know, cause I've seen a lot of roly-polies. I don't know if you know what roly-polies are. Do you know them? Roly-polies are like they're classified as crustaceans because they have gills, but they look like bugs with lots of legs. And I was surprised to find land crustaceans. Anyway, these guys eat dead wood. That is what they do. They will occasionally nibble on fresh plants as well. Some of them have eaten my some of my flowers, but generally they like dead wood to eat. And I think so no, I just think it's economical reasons, and like he said that it doesn't crack, and I think it's just the price. It's cheaper to make a house out of wood if you have wood everywhere. In the UK, you don't have a lot of wood, and wood is expensive, so they did their houses in medieval times. They did it out of clay and other things like that. But when they came here to the Americas, everybody was like, "Yay, we have wood now. Now we can build fancy houses like our lords with made out of wood." I don't know exactly what the economical reasons are. To me, it makes more sense to build a house out of stone. Out of concrete. Well, yeah, and I guess if it's, very consumer-based society, then they don't have that much of a idea to kind of leave to their kids the house. And also, if you don't take care of a house, it will deteriorate. Like, for example, my grandparents, they got a house in the 50s, and they bought the house from somebody else that had built it in 1930. So the house is from 1930, and they haven't really taken that much care of it, my grandparents. And then my parents did as much renovations as they could afford. Initially, the house didn't have any heating or water. My grandparents installed toilet and all the other things like that are modern necessities. They have like running water in the kitchen and everything else you needed. And the house is out of bricks. The exterior, the interior, the columns, the main structure, I don't know. I think they had concrete back then as well. Like, the house is really old and it's still standing today, but one of the walls is pretty eroded because we have some uh, problems with the neighbor because he's really old and a bit crazy, so he doesn't want to let anybody in his garden, so we're not able to make any reparations. Yeah. And see, yeah, my parents are not able to make any repairs to the house because of the crazy neighbor. And our neighbor that is on top, and she's been trying to repair her wall as well. She said that the guy doesn't want anybody in his garden because he likes to um, take his tan nude. So he likes to do nude sand tanning. Now, how does she know that? I don't know. But she's pretty old herself, and she's like that kind of person that likes to keep an eye on everybody else. I don't know if you have any elderly people like that, but I've met quite a couple of them that enjoy doing this, like stalking everybody. So it seems kind of ironic that our neighbor who likes to do nude bathing was trying so hard to keep it a secret, and like everybody knows now because she's been telling everybody and complaining about him. Telenovelas. And now I've told everybody on YouTube. Now everybody knows his secret. Although at this point it's kind of gossip, like truth is lost in translation. But still, I would wish they would let us bring in people to repair that wall, because then it's gonna fall apart completely, and from our dining room table, if that wall falls, we're like going to be able to see him. So it's actually in his best interest to let us repair the wall, because we don't want to see him, and he doesn't want to be seen. I think there's quite a lot of lag between us. Ah, wrong layer. I'm gonna drink some Pepsi. I've been talking quite a lot, so my mouth's kind of gone a bit dry. Hopefully I'll be able to get some songs from different musicians. I've already been talking with Kirani and Alan. Let's see what songs they can lend me to kind of like put on the channel, so you can listen to some nice music while I paint. Yeah. Oops, wrong color. There we go. Spotify. What is Spotify? Ah, that sounds interesting. I think I will look into it. Mostly I was wanting to, just reach out to the music community because it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I unfortunately had to kind of like postpone indefinitely my piano lessons, but I could quite enjoy music. You sound like a useful lad. And just getting to know more people in the music part as well, because um, I want to do an RPG with Ernest. I tried to get some lessons, but just didn't have the time to pursue it properly. And if you don't practice enough hours a day or at least a week, you're never gonna learn to play the piano. Yes, I want to do an RPG with Ernest. The Blue Bunny is my character. I have a comic with him on Tapastic. I don't know if you know it. Do you know my comic on Tapastic? BL, I don't know what BL is, but I will show you. Tapastic. So this is Ernest the Blue Bunny, and this is his story of how he left Omnivore Metropola, met Coraline, this is Coraline, and became the sheriff of Vegan Village. And I did a comic because I can't do an RPG right now because I'm not a programmer and I don't know how to do it. But I am looking for a programmer, and I also opened a campaign on Patreon. So right now I am trying to raise money to do an RPG with Ernest and following the story that I have currently on Tapastic. I always wanted to do a video game with him. I worked for the video game company, so I really enjoy making these. It's just that I've always been a graphics artist. I never gotten into programming. And to be honest, I really don't want to get into it because just like already so much work I gotta do um, for the graphics part that doing it all by myself is just gonna take forever. And I rather focus on the book that I published and also the board game that I'm almost gonna finish. Got a bit more work on it, and the board game with Ernest will be uh, done, will be ready pretty soon. So I rather try and raise money to do the video game, the programmer, so I can finish all the other things that I'm working on. I always believe it's best to specialize on something and get it done. And for the things that you're not good at, to ask help. Let me just give you the link. Here we go for Tapastic and for Patreon. Thank you, I'm glad you like it. I have a whole bunch of stories that I've been meaning to share for a long time. And they are pretty entertaining from what I've been told, so I'm gonna continue. I'm happy that people like it and they enjoy it. And I try to do educational stuff like the booklet. Do you know my booklet with Ernest and Coraline touring the USA? So, how do I get to my channel? Channel. My channel. Ooh, I have a new subscriber. I'm gonna check it out later, see who it is. Come on. Open up. There we go. Kinda sure gonna get back you as soon as sorry, didn't understand. So that's the booklet. It's mostly for kids, but I've seen a lot of Chinese students love it, so I was really surprised. And it's quite understandable. Like, for example, aside from Beijing and Shanghai, I don't really know much else about China, about the history. So I wouldn't be surprised that they wouldn't know about the US that much either. I mean, I learned a lot myself doing this booklet. Because I came to the US, and in my home country mostly did European history. So when I got here, I kind of realized, hey, there are a lot of things I don't know about the US. I should start reading. And then I started doing the illustrations for all the 50 states, kind of like as a challenge to do something, to get them done as fast as possible. So I kind of like did one every day. I've been in the US for I think 2.5 years, or one and a. I've been 2 winters here. That is definitely. I've spent 2 winters here. So 2 years and a half, I think it's gotten to that. We're going on 3 years. Yep. Also same country. Actually, I'm a kind of a different ethnicity than he is, because I'm like half Romanian. My mom's from the northern part, Moldova, and my dad is half Turkish, half Tatar. So I'm like kind of like second generation of mixed ethnicity. And growing up as a kid, I would kind of hear like 3 different languages in the house. But I did Romanian at school, so I can speak that well enough. The other two I haven't had a chance to speak because I only spoke it with my grandparents and they're dead, so I kind of forgot the languages they spoke. He got a job offer here. He's a nuclear physicist. So he got a job offer to do research at the university here. Nuclear physicist. He's a scientist. Yeah. Yeah, it's great fun. I actually wanted to be astrophysicist myself, but I didn't get a lot of encouragement on that part. And my dad, he's an engineer, so he was like, you know how you have mathematics and physics at school in high school? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, I'm pretty good at physics. And he was like, you're pretty good at high school physics. You're not that great at math. So, when you're gonna have to be a physicist, you're gonna have to do a lot of math, and you kind of suck at that. And I was like, yeah. And then he kind of gave me some examples of much more complicated mathematics. And I was like, okay, new plan. I am abandoning this dream. I don't think it will work out for me. And it's really complicated what he does, because I've kind of peeked at what he does at home sometimes, and has like these calculations and all matrix style. It looks, actually it has even less color than matrix. I don't know how he understands what's what in there, but an astronaut. No, I think you need to be a scientist, a good one, to be an astronaut as well. Also, riding a motorcycle is about the dangerous thing that I am willing to do. Being an astronaut is not a safe job. You can like burn on any of the missions you go on. So I would rather not die. I want to reach old age. And I know it's a lot safer actually. The number of astronauts that have died, if you look at the numbers, much lower than people that drive on the street. So it's much safer to be an astronaut than to drive on the highway. But still, I rather not. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very taxing to be an astronaut. You like have to leave your family for extended periods of time. The training is very hard. And I don't find it that enjoyable, the idea of living in zero gravity. And actually, I'm much happier with the job that I have now, because I can like paint and go to whatever worlds I want to with the flick of the pen. But that doesn't mean that I don't still have a great deal of admiration for the people that do this, and um, I try to support this stuff however I see that I can. Um, so I have a degree in filmmaking because I went to film school and studied that. And also I have a degree in international marketing. My parents really encouraged that because there are a lot more job opportunities as a marketer than as an artist. So first jobs that I managed to get were in advertising, just because there's so much more out there. A lot of companies that require advertising material. So that was my full-time job. The first actual job I got as a junior animator for a studio. International marketing. I have a degree in international marketing. Master's degree. Well, that's a specialization. It's you have like the masters that were available for me were international marketing. Oh, you mean the animator? Yeah, animator in general. I didn't, the university didn't actually have any kind of specialization for different types of animators. It was the art universities in Romania aren't that well funded or equipped or just anything as the ones in America. Oh, yeah, they're on my YouTube channel. You can see them there. I used to have them on my old channel, so then I uploaded them here, and I lost the sound file for one of the animations. So I don't think I've uploaded the animation anymore because it didn't have any sound, and I've been meaning to add sound to it for a long time, but then I kind of like gave up on the idea, had other projects working on. And the guys that I worked for the feature length animation, an hour and a half of animation, um, they just gave me a black and white file, and I asked them, can you give me like the full file, or at least, tell me where I can buy it if you don't want to give me the damn animation that I worked on myself. And I don't know, don't remember the discussion, so I don't know what happened to that animation. They supposedly sold it to some Korean people, some Korean business or studio. Well, yeah, it depends on how complex you do it. And can take even more than that if you draw the background and everything. And it has a lot of details and the background is changing. Because like, just look at the amount of detail that's going on here. If I had to animate these leaves, just blowing in the wind by hand, it will take like forever with this amount of details. Usually they kind of... Oh, it was kindergarten level. Well, you get faster and faster as the time progresses, and you like get better and better at this stuff. And there are a lot of softwares that like can help you do this faster, like After Effects or Flash Player or Toon Boom, or a lot of them. Find the right one that goes best with your workflow and your work style, then it becomes much easier to do these things and much more enjoyable. Because when you're able to see results in a decent amount of time, then it all starts to make more sense and seem worth it. And usually when you embark on really big projects, you gotta have a lot of patience for that. Hi June, how are you? Starting to get closer to the end. Like, yay. Yes, lots of leaves, lots of leaves. But I tell myself it's all worth it because in the end it will be very pretty. and it will have a lot of detail and will look cool. Yeah, I know how the other one looked out and turned out good enough by my standards. And I'm happy a lot of people liked it, and I was pleased with it as well. Now, thinking about it, I should have kept the branches in the same position and, kind of have the painting go from one uh, color to another. I decided, to move the branches around. But I think for the autumn, I'm gonna just keep it the same, the branches in the same position. Just maybe the leaves change them, and definitely going to change the color. And now I'm thinking, because I changed the color of the birds, maybe I should have kept the color of the birds, but then it wouldn't have matched the other ones. So I don't know, because I didn't make them different enough to be like a totally different species, which was kind of like what I was going for. But I'm not very good at drawing birds, and I was happy that those looked like birds, so I was like, better not try and change anything because I'm gonna screw it up. Just leave them as they are. I don't know, maybe someday in the future I will make the adjustments. It's such a big project that right now I don't want to undertake any major changes for it again, because I'm definitely gonna have other grievances with it and want to change other things, so I'm just gonna wait a bit more to see how my tastes were gonna change, and then whatever changes I make then, I can do them all at the same time. That is a good idea. And kind of have like the bird look at the cat and say, hang in there. Yeah, I have a lot of birds. And they were kind of like the inspiration for it, because I can hear them every morning. They argue and bicker. I don't know if you know the comics from Bird and Moon. Now they've joined forces with City Wildlife, and they made a comic with what the birds are actually saying to one another when they're arguing, and they were like having a discussion which type of rock is the best, and I had like different birds supporting different genres of rock, and you had like some blackbirds are like death metal is the best, and you had like others that had lots of uh, colorful feathers, and then like no, alternative is the best, and then you have like black metal, and then all of them arguing grunge, no grunge, and like no industrial. No, I don't listen to that much hip hop, so I'm not that in tune with what's going on in the rap and uh, R&B world, but I do listen to rock, so I do know that some of the fans, kind of like get really fired up like that, and are like, no, this is the best, no, this is the best. We go. Ooh, congratulations. Big spender now. You can buy a whole pizza and some juice and popcorn and go to the movies. You can treat yourself. You and your boyfriend, you can take him out. Oh, adobe. Sad. Chianti. What is Chianti? Ah. I haven't decided really where the light is coming from. Cause I'm gonna have like multiple points of entry between the branches. So I'm just gonna keep it secret for now. There we go. It is a lot of work, this one, but prints like this really do well in the shop, so I really wanted to do it. Also because it's pretty, and so many people just do a lot of portraits because they're more interesting visually. And I wanted to do something like that not a lot of people are doing. I really like Kijimono's Japanese style Fusumas on Society 6, and he just does landscape. That's all that he has. And it's like a lot of landscape, and they look so amazing and so beautiful. It's just like a pleasure to watch all his artworks. And when I reopen commissions, which is gonna be pretty soon, I think. Yeah, which is gonna be pretty soon, I think, and I'm pretty sure that people are mostly gonna ask for portraits of, or ask for fan art or stuff like that. So I have no idea, no doubt that I will be doing portraits, a lot of them. So until then, I want to get these done. And I would like to do some more dinosaurs, and I've been wanting to do robots for a long time, but I don't have that much experience in doing robots, so I kind of been postponing it for a long time, and I should muster up the courage one of these days to do some robots. It's really nice. They have like a very specific style that it is easy to recognize. It just seems to me like the Japanese have been much better at branding than other cultures. Like when they open up, like they also kind of got wise to how to do things pretty quickly. Because for example at the supermarket here we have dragon rolls, but everybody calls them sushi. They're not sushi, but just that they have that shape that everybody associates with sushi, so everybody just calls them sushi. They're not sushi, but still. And also when you think of folded paper, you call it origami. So again, it's a Japanese word. And as far as I know, the Chinese have been doing it first because they had paper first. It wasn't something that the Japanese invented, it was something that they developed. But still, origami is much more known than whatever word they use in Chinese for it. And there are a whole bunch of other words, especially in the industrial sector, that are Japanese. No, it's just because German words are hard to use as well, but they still found their way into certain sectors. Not so much anymore because now the Americans have taken over the filming industry. And in the past, my teachers at the film school said, we used to use these words and these words, and they were from French and German. Like, for example, on my degree it still says montage, which is from French, but now everybody uses film editing. I'm going to do some film editing on my video. Nobody says I'm gonna do montage on it. So I guess it depends on the exposure, what culture is dominating an industry, and for how long they manage to stay on top of things. And I've seen Korean animations and Chinese animations, and they look like animes. I don't know if it's on purpose or accidental or what, because as far as I know, there were animation schools in Japan sooner than they were in China. So maybe just that, Chinese students went to Japan to learn animation, and that's how they learned how to do things. So when they got back to China, they were kind of doing what they learned. They didn't really have much of a choice in kind of like reinventing the wheel. Because I suppose there has to be a pretty strong movement to kind of like rethink the style and just do it your own. I've much sooner seen this in artworks. If you've seen some of the Chinese artists and how their paintings look like, they don't look like animes at all. They seem to be much more inspired from the traditional artworks. So in that field, they kind of try to break from the Japanese and not be a shadow. Rocco. I don't remember who Rocco is. Oh, too dark. I don't know it. But there's this animation that I'm really hyped about, and it's Japanese. It's Korean. What was it called? Gonna look for the studio. Studio Mir animation movie. There we go. It's funded by Chinese, but it's Japanese. Now I don't know if this is copyrighted, and then I'll block my YouTube channel, but I'm just gonna put this link here for you, and you can watch it if you want. Now Studio Mir is just this amazing Korean studio. It did they did the animations, or helped anyway, with the animations for Korra, the last Avatar, and for the first series as well with Aang, the last Airbender. And their animation style is just amazing. They're just really, really, really good at what they do. Go on. We grew up with those, right? Dello Zodiaco, I Cavalieri dello Zodiaco. No, I did not grow up with that one. Dolce Remi also, I don't remember. Maybe it's just a different, because it's in Italian. But I do remember Heidi, I do remember He-Man, but it was before me, and Teenage Mutant Turtles as well. I'm a bit younger than both of you as far as I remember our discussions. Shrew the Dragon? From what anime is that? I don't remember. Il Dragoni Pompieri? He was a fireman, or? Yeah, pompier in my language means firefighter. Why can't... Oh, it's the same color, yeah, okay. Ah, okay. Pompa. Yeah, I'm kind of curious now where the word firefighter comes from in my language. Pompier. I don't think it comes from Pompeii though. Oh, okay, so I got most of the blending done today, and I think next week Pompa. Yeah, I think, yeah, pumping water. Yeah, so this was it for today. I think I will finish this next week. I hope I will. Uh, Not really any news updates that much, except that so if you're a musician and are looking for graphics for your channel, let me know. I am currently using royalty-free music for my videos, the speed paintings, and you can find them in my channel. But I'm always open to collaborations. So you can just give me a message. I'm most active on 2 and on Facebook, but you can leave in here in the YouTube comments as well, or on Twitch. So thank you all for watching. I'm glad you like it, and I will see you Tuesday next week at 3 to 5 p.m. GMT minus 5 hours. I am in Michigan, USA, so 3 to 5 p.m. is my time. And thank you all for watching. Thank you, June and Banana, for dropping by. It's always a pleasure to have you on my channel.